I'll start. Rocky. Duck, whoops. Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond Dafeet. In this episode we're going to have a look at the core range by Mizuno, their stability shoes as well as their neutral shoes. We're just sticking with the main ones, the Horizon, Inspire, Rider and the Sky in this one, and just touching on their Waveknit and just the mesh.
Mizuno originated out of Japan, so these shoes are quite traditional, sticking to that Japanese philosophy. If it's not broken, don't change it. Unfortunately, some things with Mizuno's are broken and they should change it. If you are someone who likes a shoe, buys a certain model and wants to wear the same shoe in 10 years time, chances are Mizuno is going to be a great brand for you because they don't change a whole lot. Some things are innovative, other things have stayed the exact same for years and will continue to stay the same.
So we'll touch on the characteristics difference between these shoes. The Inspire and Rider are pretty similar, they've just kind of got a 10% difference, as well as your Horizon and Sky. Very similar shoes, just change a bit of aspects when it comes to a neutral shoe versus a stability shoe.
Overall, Mizuno are quite similar to Asics, originated in a similar place and kind of just dispersed separately. But using each other's ideas, they have kind of gone tit for tat for many years, both as a heavier shoe and a much firmer shoe, and both kind of bounce off each other in that way for sure.
Looking at this Inspire and the Rider, only key difference between this is kind of your midsole and your upper. They have just altered the wave plate in this, so it's slightly bit thicker, double layered on that medial side on the Inspire, just adding that kind of rear foot, slight bit of that midfoot stability. So if you do find yourself kind of landing on that medial side, or you just have quite an unstable ankle, this actually does work well as far as the stability system goes. If you are looking for a plush shoe, something that is quite a nice soft shoe when it comes to a stability shoe, don't pick this up. It does a great job of doing stability. As far as a running shoe goes, it's definitely needs to work on something. Using that 12mm drop, there's just not that much cushioning underneath your forefoot and even underneath your heel. With that 12mm drop, they do have a section cut out there, so even the heel cushioning's definitely needs to be improved on. Great dialed in upper, slightly slimmer fit, it's very shallow toe box, so the uppers does a good job. They do have an internal toe counter, so instead of using in their last season's model external one, they just did move it on the internal engineered mesh, so it's just a one piece. They don't have a booty fit, so it's just a detached tongue. They have dropped the second eyelet. It does lock in that midfoot a slight bit better, trying to do a booty fit that way. Fits true to size, even probably a half size small. If you do look at the Mizuno range, stick to the same size you are looking at, or even go a half size up. Very firm stability, it's going to last you quite a while. Touching
on the Rider, after Kaz has talked about the Inspire, it's pretty much a very similar shoe except for a neutral runner. So if you're someone who has a low arch or a medium arch, look more so towards the Inspire traditionally, so if you roll in, go towards that guy. However, if you have a medium arch or a slightly higher arch and quite a rigid foot, so your foot doesn't move too much side to side, I would be looking more so towards the Rider. This shoe does utilize a very similar system, except for the wave plate isn't doubled up on the inside. So you got that single layer wave plate running from your heel to kind of at the end of your arch or slightly through your midfoot. And it's just that firm thermoplastic running all the way through. So it's not soft, but it is very rigid and it is very durable. That's the one thing Mizuno do have going for them. They're very, very well built and they do last quite a while. Your outer sole on this guy, plenty of rubber all the way through, so you're gonna get bulk K's out of it. So with your cushioning system in your Rider, you're looking at that Euphoric X kind of crash pad at your heel, so it's supposed to be their softer cushioning, and it is a good cushioning system. Only drama is it's only just about here, where the rest of it's just a Euphoric cushioning system, which is kind of a traditional EVA. It's not very soft and they market it as a little bit more responsive, but it is going to be quite firm with that 12mm drop. And maybe if it was like an 8mm drop with more cushioning, it might work quite well, but being with that 12mm, there's just not quite enough cushioning under that forefoot area. Simple mesh, they haven't done a whole lot with it over the years. If you like last season's one, by all means pick up this guy, it's going to work really well for you. Wraps around the foot really nicely. One thing Mizuno do great, they have a very deep heel counter, so you're always going to be locked in really nicely around the back, that's for sure. But definitely a much more kind of rigid, firm feel, somewhat similar to the Nimbus 21 that I talked about and referred it to as a brick. This is a lighter brick, still a brick.
Yeah. Things that Mizuno try and make that kind of initial comfort is their sock liners. So they have like the thickest sock liner on the market where they try and get their selling point. So Very thick, it's quite plush. It's a lot plusher than the Euphoric they use as a midsole. If they use this as a midsole, it'd probably actually be alright cushioning system. But that's where most of your initial comfort comes from. After about 100 Ks, they will compress since it is quite a light foam. So that's where most of your initial cushioning goes out the window about after that 200 Ks. Like, a lot of people do love this brand. They don't fix things that aren't broken. Saying that, they don't really innovate, apart from they have innovated in the Skies and the Horizons. This midsole shoe really hasn't changed since the Inspire 13. We're up to the 16 now.
Don't get us wrong, we're not just trying to rip on Mizuno. Like, overall, they are a great brand and have been around for quite a long time, and brands that do something right obviously are going to stay around for a long time. If you're someone who tends to chew through a max cushion shoe like a Hurricane or some of your Brooks range, or even some of the Hokers, if you chew through them and you need something more stable and more durable, look towards a Mizuno, look towards an Asics. Like, you're just not going to get that really soft plush feel and that nice bounce back that you would be used to in some of those other brands.
So with Mizuno as well, they do a nice Waveknit. So with the upper, it's just a very stretchy, it's in between a fly knit as well as a hyper knit by New Balance. Accommodate a nice, slightly roomier toe box. If you do get irritation on your forefeet and probably use the socks, but anyways, we'll worry about that later. These do offer a nice seamless toe box area, a bit stretchier, that can offer that slight bit more depth to the shoe. It is actually a nice addition to a Mizuno range. They do it into the Sky, Rider and your Inspire. I don't think they do it in the Horizon just because it's a slightly bit more of that stable shoe. You don't really want a slightly stretchier upper on a stable shoe.
Pretty much with a Waveknit, it is supposed to be a one-piece woven knit. So it's supposed to be more breathable, more durable, and it does wrap around the foot really nicely. So if you're kind of someone who puts your toe through a mesh and quite quickly gets irritated by a mesh or an internal kind of cap at the front, look towards the Waveknit. Moving on to a bit more of your upper range in the Mizuno. So we're looking at the Sky against the Horizon. Pretty much is your neutral shoe, supportive shoe. Same as last time. If you're someone who rolls in a bit more or a lower arch, go towards that. If you're someone with a higher arch and a more rigid foot, look towards the Sky. The Sky is a nice plush cushion neutral shoe. This is something I have done quite well. You got the Euphoric X, and also an Xpop running throughout. So it is a nice cushioning system. Very plush daily trainer, and it feels quite soft overall. For some people, they even say it's too soft, but that's just mainly in comparison to a Rider. In comparison to some New Balance range or some Saucony range, it's somewhat on par, but a little bit heavier. Your cushioning systems work really nicely. So with the Xpop running pretty much all the way through the shoe, it's very spongy and soft. Some people liken that to the Adidas Boost, and your Euphoric and Euphoric X cushioning system are going to be nice and soft and responsive, but quite durable at the same time. With your mesh upper on this one, again, very simplistic. Mizuno don't change a whole lot unless they have to. You got an engineered mesh wrapping around the whole foot with a nice firm heel counter around the back. One thing people have said with this shoe is that they kind of get that little bit of heel slippage just because the heel counter isn't as deep as the Rider or some other shoes on the market. If you're someone who needs a little bit of a high heel counter, maybe look towards something else, but overall it creates quite a nice midfoot and forefoot lockdown. And yeah, it fits pretty true to size, nice neutral cushion shoe.
Moving on to your Horizon, so very similar characteristics built as the Sky. The only thing different is kind of the medial side waves, so they've kind of gone for a more box shape. The stability system in this shoe is quite decent. Operates on that rear foot, midfoot, as well as that forefoot pronator. If you are that unstable runner or just kind of forefoot pronate, this as well as the Arahi are kind of the only two shoes on the market that do accommodate forefoot pronation. This actually does work great for a stability system. Decent cushioning system as well, so similar as the Sky, Euphoric X, as well as Xpop. Three components in a cushioning system do work reasonably well. Ton of rubber underneath your foot. They have made the outsole stable as well. Not as much of a flex groove on that forefoot on that medial side to help with the stability system that the Euphoric and Euphoric X is doing. And a lot more cushioning underneath the heel on this compared to the Horizon that's just been. If you do find yourself a heel striker and you did like the Horizon that's gone, this just offers a slightly bit more cushioning underneath that heel. Upper on this is quite decent. I got quite a slender foot, So nice slender toe box, no irritation on there at all. Kind of got a semi-gusseted tongue, so it's kind of half gusseted. Just after that eyelet that's dropped down, similar to the Inspire. This does lose that booty fit, but yeah, you're not getting that tug slipping to that lateral side or the medial side. The upper's quite dialed in, similar kind of depth to that heel as well. Accommodate for, I'd say, that mildly to severe pronator, slightly bit wider through that midfoot area, so if you are that low to medium arch, you do have quite a flexible foot. This is actually a good shoe working on a 10mm drop.
For anyone pretty much doing 5 to maybe half a marathon, a little bit slower on your feet and you don't want anything too fast, both these shoes will work well. Which one's softer? The Sky versus the Horizon? They're both pretty similar. I'd probably maybe say the Sky a little bit because it's got a little bit less in it. But in comparison to the Sky versus the Rider, this is gonna feel a lot softer. Same with your Horizon versus your Inspire. Your Horizon's gonna feel a lot softer. Same kind of thing that Asics did with their Nimbus Lite. They've taken something that's quite firm and made it a lot softer and how it should be, pretty much because they got rid of their marketing standpoint. So marketing standpoint for Mizuno is their wave plate. For some reason, same with Asics, they use a gel. So if they kind of move away from that, you get a much better shoe.
And this compared to the Inspire as far as cushioning goes and stability system, this absolutely kicks Inspire out of the park.
Yeah.
I did a run in this and it's probably in my top 3 most uncomfortable shoes to run in. Works great for my feet. This just, a lot more cushion. The stability system doesn't kick in as much, but does the exact same job. And I do slightly 4-foot pronate, so it works great for me. Yeah, if you have been happy with the Inspire but just feel to lack that cushioning over those longer runs, look at the Horizon. It's going to be a much better pick, and it is definitely one of the better stability systems out there.
Same that they do in the Rider and the Inspire. They've whacked the Waveknit on top of the Sky, so it does make for that kind of more breathable upper, that one-piece woven knit that wraps around the foot really nice. Does make for somewhat of a more roomy shoe, kind of move your foot around a little bit more. So Mizuno traditionally fit quite slim, so if you need somewhat of a wider shoe without going for a 2E or a D width if you're a woman, look more towards the knit for sure.
Mizuno do a few different ones, like the Equate, a slightly lesser model of a stability shoe, I think, or a neutral shoe, anyway. The Paradox as well kind of goes up against the Addiction and the Omni, so it's kind of their motion control shoe. Basically the model above the Horizon, they still use that full wave plate in the Paradox, so it is a very stable shoe. It's a glorified walking shoe. If you want something to run in, any of these 4, kind of 8 models with those wave knits will work better for you. If you got any questions about any of the Mizuno range or things we didn't touch on, just leave a comment down below. If you've had a good experience with any of these, let us know as well. I'd like to hear your feedback on all these shoes. Give us a good old thumbs up.
One of those ones.
One of those ones. Turn on the bell, and we'll see you in another video.